So for best dressed, I'm going to give it to Zendaya. Hands down, she was my favorite. She wore a custom Louis Vuitton ivory suit with a wide brim hat, and I think her look was inspired by Diana Ross' 1975 film Mahogany. If you haven't seen the movie Mahogany, you need to go see it. The fashion in that movie is incredible. Diana Ross is stunning, and the story itself is great. And of course, Diana Ross also was on the red carpet. She hasn't been on the red carpet for quite a while, maybe even 20 years, I want to say. But she dazzled in a white gown with feathers and accents and embodying her timeless elegance. And ironically, or maybe it was planned, who knows? Diana Ross shut down the red carpet because they wanted to get her picture of her with her gown fully laid out. It had this amazing train, and she said that all her children's name were embroidered into the train in addition to her grandchildren. And so when she entered the carpet, nobody else was allowed to enter, and so they were able to photograph the splendor that is Diana Ross. But then, right after Diana Ross entered, there walked on Zendaya. Now, of course, Zendaya was dressed by Louis Vuitton, who you know Pharrell works for. So the whole thing was probably orchestrated in that way. But there was Diana Ross, and behind her was Zendaya, looking like this young version of the superstar that Ross was. So it was just iconic to see these two looks on the carpet. And then, of course, I love the look of Coleman Domingo. As the co-chair, he donned a blue Valentino cape, paying homage to the fashion dairy legend Andre Leon Talley. Now, Andre Leon Talley, if you don't know who he is, he was this guy, editor. He was once an editor of Vogue magazine, editor at large of Vogue magazine, but he was always famous for his avant garde style, and he always wore big, huge capes. I mean, he was very dramatic, and he has such a history. He also has a fantastic book. I've never read it, but I definitely think it's something. If you're a fashion lover, we need to be reading Andre's book. Leave a comment below if you think that I should read Andre's book, and if we want to discuss that here on this channel. Another mentionable person was Dajit Doshan, and he honored his Punjabi roots in a Prabi Garung Sharani. I'm not even sure what exactly that is, but it was a turban and a cape, and he looked regal, and it was quite a costume and quite interesting and different. Also, S. Coops, he wore, now this is an Asian guy. I'm not sure exactly who he is, but I really like this outfit. He wears a lot of things that I love. He wore a boss suit inspired by the traditional Korean hanbok. So I love that. It was different. And then I'm giving props to Tiana Taylor. She's done in a Ruth E. Carter creation, blending heritage with contemporary flair. I love how she did the do-rag, the hat, the cape. I love the color. She just looked inspiring. Now, these are very much over-the-top costume type looks. My favorite being Zendaya because it's something I feel like I could wear it to my first wedding. You know what I mean? It was just tremendously beautiful. The one faux pas that I do think happened, and I was wondering, is it because Zendaya is no longer dressed by La Roche? Because how is it possible that Zendaya and some other woman wore very similar outfits? I feel like those are the things that you hire a stylist for, and they make sure that nothing like this would happen in such a high profile, highly photographed event. You would think that nobody would be allowed to wear anything similar to what Zendaya wore, or maybe that just shows that Zendaya's outfit was just not that original, since there was obviously a copycat look. So I don't know, but I love that outfit. I know there was a copycat look, or the two people wore very similar things. So does it make it just not so grand? But I just loved it. It was breathtaking. And frankly, if Zendaya's wearing an outfit, I'm not wearing it, because Zendaya just knows how to wear clothes, and she looks amazing in everything. But now let's see who missed the mark. I'm going to give it to Sabrina Carpenter, and she opted for pantless Louis Vuitton leotards and blazer combo. And I'm not going to fault Sabrina Carpenter, love her music, but she said Pharrell Williams insisted that she would lose the pants because she was so short, which makes absolutely no sense to me. Why she should do that? She should have put on pants. It could have been something short. It could have been something more remarkable, but I'm sorry, he did not do Sabrina Carpenter well. Now, people felt that she was deviating from the theme's tailored focus, but I do think it was tailored because it was sort of like a tuxedo top and then that sort of like Beyonce single lady style look, which was so, what, 1990 something, like I just didn't feel it was. I didn't get what Pharrell Williams was trying to do. It just looked ridiculous. It looked like, somebody from the movie theater. Um, yeah, not my favorite look. I have to say, I love Janelle Monáe. She wore a Brown ensemble and it featured a working clock monocle. What I liked about her look is it had a coat, which I didn't like the coat at all. But when she took off the coat and the outfit that was revealed was just magnificent. I thought it was very clever, and I love Brown. He's very playful. He's great with tailoring, and he's his craftsmanship never misses the mark for me. And then Rihanna, of course, we have to talk about Rihanna. She walked the carpet perfectly dressed and showed us that she was pregnant. She wore a custom Marc Jacobs that was adorned with timeless jewelry. Her partner ASAP Rocky was one of the co-hosts chair, so of course she had to look good, and she definitely delivered. I mean, this woman always looks great. I love the look for her. So, what do you think? Who nailed the theme this year? Drop your favorite Met Gala look in the comments. And if you want us to do another part of the Met Gala, there were so many looks. We didn't cover them all, but we could do this all day long. I love fashion. I loved watching the Met Gala, and I enjoyed many, many of the looks. So drop your comment below and let me know who was your favorite look. All right.